Hello my Scrappy friends, it is Jess here from the Scrappy Sisters and thank you for joining me for a Kitaholic Kits design team layout. Now as soon as I saw that gold foiled dot paper, I knew I was going to cut it apart and deconstruct it. It is just something that I do. Papers speak to me in this way and I pull them apart and then put them back together. So that is exactly what I did. I cut out all of the circles. The ones obviously on the inside I used a X-Acto knife to cut those out. And then I very carefully distressed the insides of each of the circles just to give that kind of raggedy look. And I knew I wanted to have like a little peekaboo effect kind of happening with the bright, well, they're not super bright, that's the wrong word, but with the coloured flowers that came in the sticker sheet. I just wanted that pop of colour coming in from behind the black circles. These flowers are almost see-through. The sticker itself, it's kind of, it's not a paper sticker. It's like a plastic sticker almost. It's kind of hard to explain. But they're not quite see-through, but almost. So it worked really well sticking them onto straight white paper. I'm just kind of layering those up and just getting a really nice little clusters. I'm planning to use pretty much that entire page and then a few more from some other pages as well. At this point in time, I'm not entirely sure other than this page what I'm going to do. I haven't looked super closely at what other stickers there are. I just saw this very front sheet in the sticker pad and just knew straight away I was doing this. I also haven't picked photos at this stage. At this stage, I just had this as an idea from the second I opened the kit and had a flick through. And actually at this point in time, I don't think I have any photos for it in my brain. I don't think I do. I'm thinking I might need to message Katie and get a picture of Addie because it's looking a little girly. I really am not certain, but I knew that this was a layout that I wanted to make that was sparking my creativity. So I just decided to roll with it. And worst case scenario, I would put two white mats on the page and find some photos later. I would do two because 99% of the time I don't scrap single photos, and you can always add, a third one or a fourth if I needed to. So just playing around with all the bits and pieces. I wasn't entirely certain if I was going to put the gold the gold sprigs of leaf onto the layout, but I did try one and I really liked the way that looked, so I decided that yes, I could get the gold on. The little lone leaves sort of sticking out on the side by themselves are not my favourite look. I don't think I placed those in quite the right spots, but the more I keep adding and creating these little clusters, the more it kind of all just works together, so that's okay. I've got no real sort of thought process or pattern with where the florals are going. I just don't really want them too close together. Having said that, I've nearly done a total diagonal, 4 in a row. I've done 3 in a row, left a space and then done another one, and I didn't even notice that until I was looking back at it now. I think part of that is also because of which part of the circle you put the floral cluster in. Because I didn't put the cluster on all the same side, it kind of gets away with it then too. So now it is time to start thinking about my photos. I have found 2 that I think is going to work for this. We were on a bike ride on the way to school, actually a scooter ride on the way to school, and Thomas found this gigantic mushroom and I didn't know, and before I could stop him, he ripped it out of the ground. So I must admit I had a tiny second of panic and I texted it to my mum and I'm like, oh my God, is this poisonous? Is my child going to die? He does happen to have a glove on that hand, just purely by luck. He was just being cool and wearing a cycling glove, but he could only find one. My mum assured me it's not poisonous. Does she really know? I'm not sure. But Thomas is still alive today, so it worked out. And he didn't get sick. So we didn't eat it or anything like that. We put it back in the garden. But it was just growing wild on the way to school, which was kind of cool. So as you can see, I had a look through the other pattern papers and found these adorable woodland creatures with the squirrel and the bunny, or the hare, it's probably a hare, not a bunny, and the fox, and I just knew I needed to get those onto my page. And then I realized there were a whole bunch of mushrooms, and that's actually what sold it for me with using these mushroom photos. I'd originally thought about using a completely different collection, that Vicky Bouton Fern collection, because it's really like woodlandy as well, and it had mushrooms in it. And I'd put that aside to make these photos with that. But when I saw all the little mushrooms in this, it just spoke to me, and I was like, perfect. This is perfect. I've had these photos for quite a while, I think since maybe April, maybe July. And if I really wanted to, I would have been able to make it with the Vicky Bouton collection between then and now, like it's December, and I wasn't motivated. So I figure this got me creating, got me making. I loved the stickers. I thought they were gorgeous. I'm just going to roll with it, and I'm going to put these photos on because they're better scrapped than sitting in my scrap room. So I'm quite happy with that. I know you can't really see the mushrooms all that well. They kind of blend in with the flowers, with the florals, with where I've put them. But I just like that subtle little pop. I think that works really well. So that is essentially done with the layout now. I don't want to embellish much more. I'm really happy with how it's looking. I did wonder about putting anything under the photos or anything like that, but I just really like it as it is. This is exactly what I'd thought of in my brain. So I figure I might as well stop. Just leave it be. So then I needed to think about a title. I did have a look at the word phrases that came with the sticker books and things like that, but none of those really jumped out at me for what was happening in this story, in these photos. So then I decided to pull out my thickers, but I wanted the phrases. I was feeling lazy, and I wasn't really sure what I would call this anyway, like what a title would be anyway. So I decided to pull out the phrases. Obviously you can see here I am still just putting some tiny words into every single circle. Did they all need a tiny word? I don't know. Did they get one? Yep, they sure did. Once I find something I like, I just did it to them all. So then I pulled out my phrases and started flicking through those. I have a few, but I needed to find one that said just the right thing or that made the most sense. There is a word on that I didn't mind, so I kept looking for a little bit more, and then I went, no, you know what? I like that word, just roll with it. And it is the word discover, because that's what he did. He discovered a gigantic mushroom or toadstool or whatever you call it. I don't love this Heidi Swap handwriting. It doesn't entirely look like the word discover. I feel like the V looks more like an R, and it kind of looks like discora. I don't know. But I'm hoping that everyone else realizes that it says discover too, or maybe someone's going to message and be like, that doesn't say discover, Jess. Like, you're totally wrong. But it's on, and I'm rolling with it. So I'm doing some golden splatters, and we will be calling this one finished. I really love the way it all came together. I think it is super cute. I love all the little creatures. I love the spots of gold, the gold foiling. I think it's really nice. So thank you so much for watching along. I hope you have enjoyed this process video, and I will see you all again next weweek with my next Kitaholic Kits layout. Thanks everyone. Bye.